But I'm sorry, I couldn't resist starting with this. My pettest peeve about LeBron James, which was on, by the way, full display last Saturday night on live national TV via ABC the night before said Super Bowl. Look, LeBron James is a great basketball player. We could go on all day and all night. Is he top 5? Is he top 10? I'll leave that for another Skip Bayless show. All I know for sure is that what drives me the craziest about the all-time great LeBron James is that he's a lousy free throw shooter, and I cannot comprehend why. LeBron, it's called a free throw for a reason. It's free and easy to make a free throw for 1 point and then make another one for 2 points. And maybe if you get fouled on a three-point attempt, as you did last Saturday night, you might just make 1, 2, and 3 to force overtime. But you can't because you're a lousy free throw shooter. Career, 73.4% from the free throw line. LeBron, you're so much better than that. That is so beneath your dignity. The greatest player ever, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I had the honor and pleasure of covering him in Chicago through the Last Dance season in 1998. Michael wasn't the greatest free throw shooter, but he was 83.5, so he was 10 percentage points more than LeBron. Do you know what that is? That's the Grand Canyon of a gulf between LeBron and Michael. And then we go up the ladder. There was Magic. He was at 84.8. There was Larry Bird at 89%. There's Kevin Durant at 88%. And then, of course, there's a Steph Curry way up there at 91%. They're called free throws. And for the life of me, I've never understood why LeBron wouldn't commit just one offseason, now that we're in year 19, to figuring out how to shoot at least 80% from the free throw line. You're a superstar, and you can't make your free throws. I'm sorry, but the free throws and his nightmare at the late game free throw line is what disqualifies LeBron for me from any GOAT conversation. You're over and you're out. Because as I've often said on Undisputed, as I've often tweeted, just once I'd like to see LeBron post on social instead of his Warrior, great workout. Look at me, lifting weights, pumping the whole gym. I got it. I'm impressed. Just once I'd like to see LeBron post a video of him out in the backyard with Bronny practicing free throws. I know that seems beneath your dignity, LeBron. You're a Hollywood mogul, but there's a way to get a shot doctor coach. There's a way to commit through an off season. There's a way while you're making that awful Space Jam 2, I can't even say it. While you're doing that, you got to sit between takes. You're in your trailer. You could go shoot free throws. You could just figure it out. If you need some sort of psychological coach, if the demons have got you, whatever, you should be improving. And by the way, for the last 5 seasons, you shot under 70%. I'm going to give you a small break this season. You're up a little bit. You're up a tick. You're at 74.6%. But guess what, big man? That ranks 83rd of 106 qualified free throw shooters this year. 83rd of 106? And somebody who sits across from me every day at the debate desk dares to call you the GOAT? It's abominable. It's embarrassing. In the end, it's just blasphemous. It's such a waste of your talent. And by the way, before I proceed to my point, understand LeBron is also a career 34.5% three-point shooter. And this year, you're a tick up at 35.2. That ranks, if I can, that's 97th of 156 qualified three-point shooters. So you're a little better from three, but not much, and that's going to bring me to my point in just a moment. Since LeBron entered this league, he's missed 16 what are termed clutch free throws. That's a mountain of missed clutch free throws because these are the ones 10 seconds or less with the game at 2 points, one way or the other. J.R. Smith is next on that list at 8. So LeBron's at 16. J.R. Smith, obviously now retired, at 8. And just field goals missed in the last 10 seconds of a close game. LeBron is at, since he came into the league, 102. That's 25 more than Dwayne Wade. And, by the way, Russell Westbrook. And then we get to three-point shots taken in the last 2 seconds of games. 2 points, one way or the other. And LeBron is actually 5 behind Russell Westbrook, his backcourt partner right now in brick masonry. So Russ is at 52 since LeBron came into the league. That leads in those, and LeBron's 5 behind. Not all that pretty. Here's my bottom line. I've been saying this since my days on Cold Pizza, which went from 2004 to 2006. LeBron James runs from the late game free throw line. He's got some Ben Simmons going on before we even knew about Ben Simmons' psychological demons running from the late game free throw line. LeBron has the highest IQ in basketball, so he's genius at avoiding that late game line. And he avoids it because he just wasn't born with a clutch gene. I've said this for years and years, for at least 15 of his 19 years. I've said on national TV, no clutch gene, especially at that late game free throw line. That's his ultimate nightmare. Conversely, when I covered Michael Jordan, remember on that playoff run, late 1998, I used to be allowed into the gym late in practices. I remember one at Indiana in that 7-game knockdown dragout that Michael had with Reggie Miller's team, coached by Larry Bird. I used to watch Michael shoot free throws for money. I don't know how much money, but if I know him, it was well into the thousands, shooting teammates. One day I witnessed LeBron beating teammates out of whatever money they were betting. LeBron was shooting free throws, blindfolded, left-handed. True story. I saw it. I witnessed it. I don't know the exact dollar amount that he won, but it seemed like a ton because everybody else was like rolling on the wooden floor after he made yet another left-handed, blindfolded free throw. Free throw. It irks me because LeBron James is so gifted mentally. He has such a command of basketball that he now knows that he has to take deep threes to avoid the late game free throw line. He's the greatest driver of the basketball in the history of the game. I've said it 1,000 times on live national TV. He's still 6'9". He must go 260. He might be 270 now. He is unstoppable to the rim. Late game situations, they can't defend him. They could only foul him. But you know what's going to happen? You're going to have to go there by yourself and stand 15 feet away with nobody helping you, nobody to pass to. You can't make the right play. I'm going to pass it to George Hill because I don't want to shoot this 15-foot jump shot against Golden State in Game 1, 2018 at Oracle. I'm going to pass it to George Hill, and then he gets to go to the free throw line and do what I should have done. I should have just taken the shot. It was a win or lose shot. Game 1, they had him on the ropes. LeBron was as hot as I've ever seen him from outside. All he had to do, he got the switch, got Steph on him, little Steph on 6'9", LeBron, 6'3" versus 6'9". Just shoot the shot. I don't know, would he foul you? Well, that'd be your worst nightmare, but shoot the jump shot. You got a hot hand. It's down 1, so it's going to be do or die. No, I'm going to pass it to George Hill and let him go to the free throw line and gag one. So what usually happens? Well, you saw what happened this year earlier at Indiana into regulation. He's just going to pull up and take a monstrous, like almost a logo three to win or lose the game, because then his billions of blind witnesses, his apologists can then say, well, that was a hard shot. I know he missed it, but man, that was a deep three. You got to give him a break. You got to let him off the hook for that. No, I don't. You were down one. You could have just driven it. You could have shot the free throws. If you're down one, if you could just make one of two free throws, at least you get to overtime. No, he missed it. And then a couple of nights later, it's Sacramento at home. That was at Indiana. And LeBron managed to miss a deep three at the end of regulation to win the game, and then a deep three at the end of the first overtime to win the game. And it went 2 overtimes, and they lost to Sacramento. Come on, LeBron, you're just so much better than this. Which brings me to Saturday night at Golden State. Lakers arguably played their best overall game of the year against a very good team. They were right there, just a point down going to the fourth quarter, and LeBron had a brutal fourth quarter, arguably the worst of his career. Russ was on his best behavior. He just stayed out of the way. He had 1 turnover for the whole night. He took 2 threes for the whole night, did Russell Westbrook, made one of them. You can live with that. But LeBron went 1 for 10 in the fourth quarter, including 3 turnovers. It was just so not LeBron. But he got a break, quote unquote. At the end of the game, clock's ticking down. He's going to try a 3. You're down 3. Pressure's a little bit off that point because it's not really do or die. You got to take a 3 in that case, and you're going to make it or miss it. Hopefully you make it. At least you're going to overtime, right? And Steph commits a blunder. The irony was Steph actually did foul LeBron. He was supposed to do the take foul just to kill some of the clock. And I thought he got him before LeBron went into this shooting motion. So it was actually a bad call that turned into a blunder by Steph, but it was a bad call. And LeBron is kind of screaming for the call for a second, and then he's looking around like, oh, bleep, what did I just force myself into? Well, it's his worst nightmare. Now that you got the shooting motion call, you got to go stand there by yourself and make 3 free throws to tie. It's just impossible. We've seen situations like this before that he has found himself in, and it was painful to watch. From my heart, I pitied him. I knew what was coming. I turned to my wife, Ernestine. She was sort of half watching. I said, this is going to be hard to watch. First free throw attempt. It's one of these. And he sort of leaned to the left, and as he shot it, he stepped across the line. It was just an all-time choke job. I pitied him. LeBricked. It had no chance. Now, obviously, all bets are off. No pressure. He made the second one. Now you have to miss the third one, and he shot it way up into the rafters. It was a cool shot. It was a smart shot. It was a genius shot. And he actually managed to track down the rebound over near the scoring table and sort of fell out of bounds and shot one that was just like impossible. But at least he pulled that off because that's high IQ. So in the end, I say it once more, it hurts my heart to watch this because LeBron is a great basketball player who can't do the simplest thing in basketball, make free throws. And I'm saying it publicly. If you're watching LeBron, you're better than that. I hope you enjoyed that video. You ready for more? Make sure you click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from the Skip Bayless Show. And don't forget to check out the full episode of the show wherever you get your podcasts by clicking the link in the description.